Hi, I'm Amy Baxter, editor of Retail Leader, and welcome to Trend Talk. Every week on Trend Talk, we identify a retail trend and give it a deep dive with an industry insider. This week, we're looking at in-app shopping trends with a nod toward influencer marketing. And my guest is Eric Dahan, CEO and co-founder of Open Influence, an influencer marketing agency based in LA.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to just start off with a brief overview of the social commerce market. Just kind of want to ask you to define what that term is. What is social commerce? Where did it start with social media and where is it now?
Oh man, yeah, I love this. So what is it? So social commerce, it's a very broad term. So it's really the intersection of social media and commerce, which means just buying things through social interactions, right? So instead of you going to an e-commerce store and say, I want, leggings, and searching leggings and having that pop up, that discovery process and that customer journey is more driven by social interaction, right? So, where did this all start? You had, where I sort of saw this start, to me, where it kind of first started, you had Pinterest that was a promising platform for kind of social commerce, but I think the first real company that sort of doubled down on this was a company called Fancy, and it was a very similar to Pinterest. They would show really cool items that you could then go buy. So like an ice cube maker that would make ice cubes in the shape of the Millennium Falcon, or a $10,000 mobile sauna that you could buy, that was made out of a giant wine barrel. And so like really cool stuff, but like that was sort of first where it was like, people were interacting with products, they were sharing products to buy on this platform, and that was sort of phase one, I think. And Fancy didn't really work out as a big commerce platform, and social has always been used as a tool to drive sales. So Facebook with its ads, you have YouTube where creators are using affiliate links. But it was more kind of a traditional sort of ad model where you drive the ads and you take them to the site. And what we're seeing happen now is a lot more of that journey is moving on the platforms themselves, where the customer journey is being consolidated onto a social platform where you could discover an item socially and then make the purchase within that same platform.
Yeah. And because we're focused on the retail sector, we write to retail executives. And you're on the other side, the influencer side. So why do consumers like to make purchases within apps? What's different about them seeing an ad or seeing an influencer on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok versus, other types of ads?
Yeah, the big thing is social validation, right? So there's so much information today that's out there that people need to decide what to listen to and what to ignore, right? And so and how do we do that? Well, we look at trust and relevance, right? Trust is sort of that driver for relevance. So, and the truth is, like, we don't trust companies as much. We don't trust governments as much as we used to. We definitely don't trust marketers, right, as much. And so, but the thing we do trust is other people. And if you think about it, like, okay, if you're making a purchase decision, where do you look to first? You look to the reviews, right? What are other people saying about this? Whether it's a restaurant or a hotel you're going to book or TV you're going to buy, you look at the reviews, you look at what other people are saying. And so there's this inherent social aspect to that decision making that validates it. And social media is all about looking at what other people are doing to decide what content floats to the top of what we see. And that's what the algorithms are really designed to do, right? And so a big part of product discovery is now social. And that's why it's so key for brands to understand, like, okay, yes, you could go show an ad 1,000 times or take up several billboards, but people are not going to trust it until people that they know or that they trust are talking about it and have validated that. And that also makes it easier to be discovered on a social platform. So that's where we've been seeing this intersection of influencer marketing and retail and commerce, and or influencers, I should say, and retail and commerce, which has sort of led to influencer marketing emerge as a whole.
Yeah, cool. So I actually want to kind of look at the role of COVID-19 and how it kind of maybe played into driving a little bit of social commerce. I had never had TikTok before mid-2020 last year, and of course then I downloaded it because I was home all the time, and TikTok has just become so huge, and that they just came out with their own in-app shopping just sort of recently and doing some piloting. So can you talk a little bit about maybe the role of COVID, if it has driven influencer marketing further or another direction?
Yeah, I mean, just taking a step back, right? COVID has driven online commerce significantly. So I think within like the first 3 months of COVID, we saw online commerce advance like 10 years worth of adoption within those 3 months. So it was a really rapid acceleration. And, like 10 plus years ago, direct to consumer was really a differentiator for brands. And online, being online focused was a differentiator. But in today's world, it's a box to check. It's necessary, right, for companies to have that online presence. And so I think all that was accelerated through COVID. I think the direct-to-consumer brands were really well positioned to take advantage of that. And if you look at on sort of the other side of the world in China, you have social commerce that has been around for a while. And I think the U.S. from a social standpoint takes sort of longer to adopt new technologies than the Chinese market does. The Chinese market's ahead. And so I think we would have eventually got into social commerce, but I think COVID has accelerated that adoption where it's like, well, you don't really have another choice to shop. Brands and retailers are trying to figure out how to really build out their online presence, right, and get away from brick and mortar because people are not walking around and going into shops. And then how do you leverage social? Because everyone is spending significantly more time on their phones on social because, again, there's nothing else to do. And so I think it was a big catalyst for that. And then like influencer marketing's rise is sort of a byproduct of all that, right? Everyone's like, well, more customers spending time on social. We need to boost our e-com presence. What can we do? Well, yeah, they spent more money on social ads, but also, a lot more money was spent on influencer marketing too. Yeah.
It's interesting you brought up China because I think live streaming is one of those things that's so big in China and is kind of just scratching the surface here. And it's one of the forms of that in-app shopping can take. So what are some of the other like top popular forms of in-app shopping? It's not just like a picture and buy buttons or links out anymore.
Yeah, I think the big one that you touched on is the live shopping, right? And people ask, oh, is that going to work here? It's like, well, yeah, we've had QVC and HSN for years, so culturally we know it works, and tech-wise, a lot of companies are taking that bet right now and building that out. So yeah, I think that's really the next big thing. But what we're seeing is influencer shops, coming about where influencers act as curators for products. And it's funny, companies have tried going after that, like, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago, but I think they were just a little too early. And you have a lot of the platforms building in native shopping functionality, as well as just building like native stores, right? You have Instagram shops and Facebook shops. You have TikTok's integration with Shopify. So you have this sort of drive from the platforms themselves to build in this sort of native functionality and really own that customer journey from start to finish. But yeah, I think live shopping and native affiliate linking are like the two sort of big ones on our horizon. And actually a third I would say is you have the streaming services, the OTT services, making their ad platforms more accessible to brands, right? And so I think we're going to start to see more shopping being driven from OTT very soon.
What's OTT?
Hulu, Netflix, Roku, Sling, right? So like all those streaming services where you watch shows, they're starting to become more social with things like group watch features or party watch features where you can watch a show with a friend. But yeah, like a lot of those companies have been investing in their ad platforms, and so it's only a matter of time where you're going to be watching a show on Hulu, and then an ad will pop up on your phone to go buy that product directly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. So I actually want to talk a little bit more about the power of TikTok. It's kind of my obsession right now is like media about TikTok. And I think there's a really good example right now is Clinique sold out of this lipstick. It's called Black Honey Lipstick. It went viral on TikTok, but it's been around for 40 years. So, and it just keeps selling out now because of TikTok. So how do you explain this? How did Clinique do this? What's the lesson to retailers?
Yeah, no, I mean, TikTok is a powerhouse for selling things. You have the whole like TikTok made me buy it. a sort of trend. And TikTok is an extremely powerful discovery engine. And so, with Instagram, Instagram has this sort of element of you discover things because it's within your social network. While TikTok is very, it's algorithmically driven. So you could log on to TikTok. You don't have to follow anyone. You don't have to have any other friends on there. You just go to the For You page and, all of a sudden, like, you're discovering stuff, right? And so it really creates a great environment for brands to just, and really products, I would say, more than brands, because it's a lot more product driven than necessarily brand driven, right? Like, when all the stories we hear of things blowing up, they're single products, right? But it's really a powerhouse for that. Whether it's the leggings, right, that retailers can't keep on the shelves, or you name, like, any little gadgets or gizmos that are selling out, right? So yeah, I mean, it's extremely powerful. What's important for brands to understand is, trends move very fast on TikTok. Something could be popular on Monday and completely irrelevant by Thursday. So you have to really be on it, and know how to hop on the right trends and invest on those right trends to blow up. Working with creators obviously is fantastic on TikTok. You have to let the creator be, you have to give more creative freedom than you would on other platforms, because it's all about authenticity, and success is really, again, driven by the algorithm more than anything. And so you have that chance to really blow up well beyond your audience with a piece of content. And so, yeah, I mean, focusing on a product, clear value proposition, it's a great platform for demonstrating a product as well. And so, and why it's unique, and then validating it through others. And so, yeah, it's just it's a great time to be on the platform and move quickly. And it's also just a very powerful platform as well.